My name is Jonathan Witt. This is my wife, Laurel. We've been at the Well since 2014 when we moved here for her to go to law school.
We looked around in Boulder and looked at some different churches and started to really look into what would be a good match for us. And then Jonathan found the Well online.
Yeah, I listened to the sermons every week for an entire year before we even had set foot in Boulder. And we knew from the outset that this was our home. Yeah, I started with music at the Well in I think September of 2014.
Yeah, and around the same time we joined an MC, which is a missional community here at the Well. And about a year into our time, around 2015, we started leading the MC.
I was approached and asked to join the elder team as a candidate here at the Well. And the process has been really amazing in just seeing how our pastors lead and shepherd our church, and then be brought into that just to pray for our congregation and in my capacity as a worship leader. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us has always been just being called here. So it was always kind of in the back of our minds that are we going to be called somewhere else? Is Laurel going to get a job, or am I going to get a job that takes us away from this place? And then so how do we engage in a way that's, it suits and it ministers to the people while we're here, but then also kind of leaves us an easy way to kind of transition out.
And about a year or so before By Any Means started, we started feeling this, feeling like we were meant to be here. We started seeing people from our old life come and move here. We started seeing just some really beautiful fruit here in Boulder. And we knew it was a place that really needs God. Everywhere needs God, but this place felt like our home.
It kind of really came to a head in the last year or so. We bought a house in the craziest probably real estate market in the last decade. And
I took a job with the city.
And Laurel took a new job.
Yeah, so it really felt like, okay, we have a house, we have employment, we've bought into By Any Means, we're really invested in this community here.
What we were noticing is that more and more of our friend group, more and more families were staying at the Well longer than 3 or 4 years for undergrad or grad school, and we were one of them. And that was right around the same time that we're trying to discern if we're being called here, if we're being called away, and what we're called to do while we're here.
Yeah, around the same time we were talking about cementing living in the county of Boulder or around there, and working here and being present in the church. And the church started talking about By Any Means. And it was something that at first we weren't really sure what it was, what was going on. So we came one Sunday and just listened. That same Sunday was the Sunday I found out my grandmother died. She was not a Christian. She was a Buddhist, actually. And I, after crying for a bit in the parking lot, came into church and just really thought about what does it mean to leave a good legacy for her? And something for me that really stood out was, I don't want anybody to go through the same thing I went through, which is my grandmother's not a Christian. I don't know what that means. But I would really love to see the city of Boulder and the county come to know God.
Our church needs a place to call our own. And By Any Means was the vehicle or the mechanism that was going to get us there. Apart from, being called to be generous people, we're called to be missionaries, to be in this place and to share the good news of the gospel with everybody we come in contact with. By Any Means has really just been kind of an exercise of faith. I know that's not just for us, but in a way that God has provided in amazing ways for our church and for us personally. And with our little tiny church coming up with a pretty outrageous number in the millions of dollars, is if that's not, a sign of God doing something amazing here, I don't know what is.
Giving is part of what we've done for years, but there's something more when you really give to something as big as a church building, as big as church plants, as big as really trying to invest in this community. I think for me, it was really growing and stretching to know what is my priority with my finances, also with my time and my resources, other than just finances. What is my priority? Is it God and the church, or is it something else?
I think having a building for me is slightly selfish, just because I can sleep in a little bit on Sunday mornings, if we can be honest. But honestly, we spend a lot of money in repairing equipment because it gets set up and torn down and run over rough gravel and stuff every week, and it just takes its toll.
Something I really am excited about for the women of the Well is we can have a place to gather, whether it's a place to come and commune with one another or a place to come talk about our theology and deepen those things. I think we welcome any new person here at the Well, whether you're not a Christian or are a Christian. We're really excited to have you. And even though this initiative is ending, you get to be a part of something beautiful.
What we're doing here is long-lasting, number one, but the things that it shows you and grows you in your spiritual walk is really incredible in a way that nothing I don't think I've ever seen in my life has done to the same extent. This isn't my first, building campaign. It's not my first giving campaign, but every time God teaches me something new about the depths of His grace and the mercy that He has towards us, but also just that our resources are not our own. They are His, and that we're called to be obedient with those. So if you've finished this campaign with us, man, well done. This has been a really, really interesting struggle, but also a celebratory time for us. It'll be amazing once we're in our building and we can use that to leverage the gospel to the ends of the city and to the ends of the earth.